Raideo.
Okay.
You guys
Yeah,
chat or harmonize for a quick second.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Mommy made me mash my M&Ms. Mm-hmm. Mommy made me mash my M&Ms.
Is that your warm-up?
Yeah.
Mommy made me mash my M&Ms. Mm-hmm. Mommy made me mash my M&Ms. Mm-hmm. Mommy made me mash my M&Ms. Mm-hmm. Mommy made me mash my M&Ms. Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Mommy made me mash.
Oh. Okay.
Hope that gets put in the podcast.
It probably will.
Oh, perfect.
Gosh.
Yeah. Okay, we're good. I think we're good.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah. So you guys are, you just had commencement last night.
Yeah.
I got to read. Did I read for? Actually, I read for you.
Yeah, you did.
You read for me.
And I did for you. And I was looking at the phonetic because I didn't get the script until yesterday morning. So I was
Of Addams family? Oh, of the commencement.
For the commencement.
Yeah.
So I was looking at that and looking at the phonetic pronunciations of your names and stuff like that. And, I got things like Brandon, which I really didn't need help with because Brandon. But for Alex, it said Alex Toth.
Right.
Did you wrote that?
I wrote
On
Alex
purpose.
Tooth.
What is a joke?
So Alex Toth. It's a great name, strong name.
Because I was confused and then worried, and I didn't go and ask you like, is this like, are you being serious or what am I supposed to do? So I got up there and I was like looking at it, going, what do I say? So I just went with how I usually pronounce your name, which is Toth.
No, you got it wrong this whole time.
It's been Tooth. It's always been so. When I was writing it, I was given I wasn't there for like a week, so I missed the memo that I was supposed to write something. So in like 5 minutes, I just started scribbling down things, and I was like, I'm too tired to be funny, and I was just like, got to my name, I'm like, it'll be funnier if they read it out as Tooth. My parents will look at the teacher and go, wait, what? Why would they say Tooth? Huh? And so then I did Tooth, and I thought it'd be funnier.
But
I forgot
everyone
about it.
knows your name. Everyone knows you in this school. Did you really think you were going to trick somebody?
Maybe.
Well, there have been some students who have crossed the stage over the years who actually we've been pronouncing their names for 5 years incorrectly, and they just didn't bother.
Yeah.
And then what we used to do is we used to rehearse, but also we used to have kids walk by and then tell us the pronunciation. So we would write down our own phonetic spelling. Mm-hmm. And then that would surprise me so many times because there'd at least be 3 or 4 kids that I'd be reading out for who we've been pronouncing their names forever wrong. Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly.
Sarah with an X.
That I was genuinely concerned about that and a little bit panicked. I wasn't stressed out about anything, but then when I got to your name, I was like, what do I do?
I was in.
So thank you for that.
Oh, of course. I mean, you're welcome. But I was in such a daze when I was up there waving. I did not even hear the reading until it was over. So I'm glad that I was able to impart such fear onto you.
Okay.
How was everybody's night?
It was good.
It was really
Me and
fun.
Lauren got McDonald's after.
We
Okay.
saw a few people at the McDonald's. They had the same idea as us.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. A little mini reunion, even though you haven't gone very far yet.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, it was weird, seeing everyone and thinking, oh, this might be the last time that I'm going to see this person ever, possibly.
That's definitely possible because I can recount how many people in high school, quite a few people went to UBC with me, but that doesn't mean I saw them because
Yeah.
UBC is its own town, right?
Yeah.
So out of those people, only a small handful ended up with me in classes. And maybe even then, maybe only two or three I would see regularly. So
Yeah,
we
it's
definitely
weird.
lost touch. It just happens that way, right?
Yeah.
And then everybody has their own friends and they
Yeah.
have their own lives.
Divides and yeah.
Yeah. But I would say nowadays it's much easier to just keep in touch.
Yeah.
Because of
that's for
social
sure.
media and, being online, you can actually see what people are doing and not be
Yeah.
surprised one day when you walk through a shopping mall and go, hey, how have you been? It's been 10 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'm hoping I can stay friends with everybody through high school because Turpin scared me. He was like, yeah, in university, you don't really make any meaningful friends. You're all just kind of friends like by convenience to like get through class together.
And that's what we love to call the bright, optimistic way to look at life.
Right.
It can be true though. Like my university friends I don't talk to anymore.
Wow. Yeah.
the new friends that I met in university, because after university you go on.
Yeah, no, it's true. I think a lot of my parents' friends are more from high school than university, which is so odd to me because, I don't know, there's so much more of a gap of time where they didn't see each other, and I would think that they would lose that, but that gives me more hope than for my friendships in high
It's different
school.
for everybody.
I am
Yeah.
also kind of interested because I actually heard the opposite growing up. I heard a lot of people tell me that it was like when you go to university, you're meeting with people who have the same interests and kind of like ideas and perspectives as you. So it's easier to kind of like fall into your right group compared to like high school where it's a mishmash of whoever kind of bumbled into each other first.
I think it's just a matter of, who you connect with, and then it takes work to stay in touch too, right?
Probably also the program you're taking. I think if you're taking a program like theater, you kind of almost have to be friends with half the people.
Right, you're closer with them.
'Cause you're working with them all the
Yeah.
time in a different setting. But I think if you're just taking like a business course, you're not going to be best friends with everyone.
Yeah, like UBC was, I was one of 500 in a lecture hall. So
Yeah. So it's
You're
like,
not
how
making
can
friends.
you be close with everybody?
Wait, you don't have that fun meet cute where you ask someone to borrow their pencil?
That's another thing I'll miss about Delview is being able to make connections with teachers because in university the classes are so big.
Yeah, totally.
Although again, like like with your programs, it may be like smaller classes than I had the experience with. Like, because for me, it was very impersonal because you've got your professor who's rolling through notes at the front, and like 499 other students there.
Yeah.
Half of them nodding off. So that's how it was for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. What programs are you guys going into?
Ooh, who wants to go first?
Yeah, go first, Alex.
I'm going to acting for stage and screen at Capilano University.
How shocking.
Yes, very excited.
For stage and screen.
Yes. I don't know if I should go into more of my program first or you guys should talk about yours, but okay, I guess I'll talk about mine. So it combines both like kind of general theater understanding and like techniques, as well as kind of helping you kind of see both sides of the stage acting and, more like how to kind of work with more body language and kind of how to stand out on a stage presence. And then versus something like television acting or movie acting where you're on screen and you have to have like more focus on kind of like micro emotions or like kind of framing yourself right. So, yeah.
So what is, you haven't gone through the program yet, so you're no expert, but what is the key difference between stage and screen?
I haven't done any major like professional screen work at all, but I have been lucky enough to feature in some amateur work, either in Delview and a few out of Delview work productions. But I think one of the major parts about screen that I definitely had to like kind of like readjust myself to was that when you're on stage, there are certain like parameters of acting that are definitely not realistic, but when you're on the stage, that level of bigness, that level of like emotional outpouring from you, like it kind of feels natural for the show, for that moment. And on screen, it's definitely not. I remember one time I went to do a film project and I was like doing really big facial expressions because that's what I was like very used to doing for stage shows, so that people, in the back row, they can see what face I'm making.
Okay.
And they were like, they put the camera down and like, Alex, your wrinkles are eclipsing your lips. You need to just calm it down a bit. And I was like, oh. And I was like, this much? No, less. I want to see like a tiny squint. And that was really hard to kind of like get.
So people are a lot closer because you've got a camera on your face.
Yeah.
So it's just, you got to be a bit more subtle.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think the difference with the camera too is that it kind of like takes almost in the form of like how we look at the world. It's not like we're seeing a giant stage and it's like we're like in a crowd. We're watching on a TV. It's very intimate. It's almost like we're looking through the camera's eyes. So when the characters are acting really big and kind of buffoonish, it can sort of kill the realism if that's what the director's going for.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I guess the other way it's different is that the director can say cut, and then you redo the scene over and over again. Whereas in a stage play, that doesn't happen.
There's definitely a lot less loosey-goosey kind of like, if you say a line and you kind of adjust one part of the sentence, it might not even be an important part. It could be like an and to a the. Sometimes a director might stop you and be like, "Oh, I need you to say exactly the. Let's get this. Let's do another retake." And you're like, "Oh,
I think you have more freedom in theater.
Yes,
and you can just do what you're going to do on stage, and it happens, and no one can stop you really because it's live.
Yeah,
and it's also a lot more raw. People are seeing all the mistakes, and they're not seeing. In film, you can edit everything. So
right, yeah. Lauren, you want to go next?
I'll be going to Emily Carr University to get my bachelor's in visual arts and hopefully a minor in a really cool program called Art Plus Text. So it's looking into like how literacy connects to visual art, which seems very interesting, and hopefully I'll be able to be in that program in my second year.
So your mic was falling over. So
there was a thunderstorm for some reason. My goodness.
There we go.
Okay.
Now we're set up.
Should I say it again or just keep going?
No, you're good.
Okay.
We got that.
But yeah, I'm hoping to be an art teacher. So after that, I'll be going to either UBC or SFU to get my 1 year like certificate for education, and then I can go on to it's basically exactly what Mr. Choi did.
Yeah.
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 It is. He went to Emily Carr.
Exact same program too, the visual arts program. So he was like, "Lauren, just talk to me, and I'll tell you exactly what I did.
Exactly what to do, where to eat, how to behave, which transit routes to take."
Yeah.
You're doing a Mr. Choi. We need more teachers. Yay!
Yeah, I know. A lot of people that I've talked to are going into teaching.
Well, what brings you to even think about teaching? Because it's is it like playing teacher when you were little?
Yeah, I did like doing that.
At this point in your life, I understand going to an art school, but to then think about, okay, this will bring me to teaching.
Yeah,
that's really thinking in advance.
Yeah, well, I remember when I was younger. I mean, I've always been pretty proficient in art, and people would come up to me in like my elementary school class and be like, "Lauren, can you help me draw this?" And they'd have like a stick figure, and they'd want me to like make it into like the Mona Lisa, and I'd be like, "I can't do that, but I can teach you tricks on how to, maybe add some shading, add some highlights to make it look like more what you want it to the end result to be." So that's where my mind kind of went when I first started thinking about what I wanted to do with an arts degree. But then what really sealed the deal was seeing how much Miss Johnston loved being an art teacher and how she affected the people in the class. And she always had a new idea, a new arts project that she shared with us, like different videos of the history of art and its makers, and it's just like I loved it, how enthusiastic she was, and she made me want to pursue that. I mean who knows, maybe after I do my arts degree I'll decide I'll want to pursue it in a different way, but for now and for the last 2 years my plan is to be an art teacher after.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the interesting thing about Miss Johnston is that she still does her art regularly, and she goes to galleries and things like that. So she's still she's teaching, but she's also doing what she loves. She loves both, but she's here and she's also out there doing her thing. So
yeah, that's exactly what I want to do. I want to do that, and I just really enjoy being in a high school setting for the most part. So it would be really cool. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll be the next art teacher at Delview.
Replace Miss Johnston.
Could be. She could be retiring anytime. Mary?
Yes. Okay. So this is probably like news to Alex and Lauren, but I've actually decided to take a gap year. Yeah, I know.
You're going to work at the Gap?
Yeah, I'm going to work at the Gap. It's really going to help with theater experience, I think.
Can I get a discount?
Actually.
I'll think about it.
It might help you with your
So,
theater
no,
experience.
initially my plan was to go to CAP like Alex, and I auditioned for both programs and I got waitlisted for both because I did my callback so late in the year because of Newsies and I could just never have a time. So I got waitlisted because I think, their classes built up and they got kind of full. So I got accepted, qualified. And they emailed me and they said, yeah, you're qualified, but we'll have to let you know if a seat opens up because we're full right now. And so I was like, okay, I can wait and I can apply to other programs and I could do that. Or why don't I just take a gap year? Why don't I just give myself a break for a second? And I thought, I'm going to take a year to build up my acting resume and I'm going to work and I'm going to work with community theater. And I got scouted at Newsies to go to this actor's studio where they teach acting classes. And I think they do performances and stuff too, but it's mainly classes to work on your technique and stuff. But yeah, after one of my performances of Newsies, the musical Alex was in also, this guy came up to me and he scouted me and he said, hey, your performance was amazing. We would really love to use your work at our studio. It's the White Rock Actors Studio. And so that really interested me. But I was kind of I can't do that if I'm at CAP because CAP really, it's such a full-on program. You can't work. You can't be in other performances. It's either that or you can't do anything else. You have to just do that because it's so full-on. So, I mean, I'll see if they accept me, I might change my mind. It's not set in stone. But for now, what I really want to do is just take a year to be in the real world of acting, not just that the teenage world of acting. Because I've only been in high school theater and I've been in the Smash Theater Company as well, which is really good, but it's mostly teenagers. And I want a chance to work with adults and make money. Honestly, I want to build a better foundation because CAP is really expensive and I want to just, Alex is nodding his head. It feels unstable for me to go into it right away with no work because I've basically just done theater for the past 3 years. I had no time to work, no time to just be in that environment. I've just been doing theater. And I kind of just wanted a chance to have a buffer in between to, work on being an adult, I guess. And I'll still be doing stuff. I'll be active. I'm not going to just sit around and play video games or something. But I just want a chance to make money and maybe travel a bit and live a little before I go into a program. And right now, I guess my plan after the gap year is I'll audition again for CAP because that's kind of been my plan and I want to give it a chance again. But I'm also thinking about going to SFU for a bachelor's in theater. Their faculty of arts is really cool, and my friend Katie's going there for music, so we would be in the same kind of group setting, and I would see her a lot. And it's closer. It's tricky too with CAP because it's so far away. It's in North Van, and it was just 2 hours on transit, so it's a lot. But that's my plan right now. So,
that's great.
Yeah.
I think gap years are great as long as you make use of it for something and to get experience in the world. I think I've heard a lot of actors talk about, well, sometimes you just have to just live like a regular person, and you can bring that into your acting, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to just continually doing the same thing, plays or whatever it is. Sometimes you just have to do other stuff.
Yeah. I just feel I need more life experience, and I feel I won't get that type of experience that I want out of just another school setting.
Yeah.
And I still value that, but I just want time to work.
You guys were in Newsies?
Yeah, we were. Sorry, my throat. Yeah.
We were in
I thought we did a warm-up for this.
I know. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Come on.
we were in I guess we're not in it anymore, but we were both in Smash Theater School or company, and so we were in their senior company. And in May we did Newsies, the musical. And
what role did you play?
Yeah, so I played the Newsy Ensemble, and then I played Miss Madalarkin. So she's kind of a burlesque star.
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
and
I remember her.
She's kind of a cameo character.
Yes.
So she has her big solo, and that's kind of her main thing. But no, she's really fun. She's a terribly dramatic and ridiculous character, and it was really fun to play her. And Alex played.
I played Wiesel. He was kind of the mean newspaper boss for the kids. Like he ran the stand that gave the newspaper. Yeah. He was a bit mean. And then on my off nights, I would do Thomas. Oh no, not Thomas Jefferson. Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Names are hard.
He can't remember his own character, but that's okay.
No, guys, it was May. That was like 2 months ago. Yeah.
And don't forget the hairdresser. What's his name?
Oh, of course, Nunzio. Yes, when I was doing Roosevelt, I'd also play Nunzio, who was the kind of was there for one song with Pulitzer, and he kind of did up his hair. Yeah, it was
Pulitzer's the villain, so yeah, he did the villain's hair.
What can I say? I'm an artist.
That's cool. Love Newsies. The last time I saw it was at Toth's with Turpin.
Awesome. Oh, yeah.
And he knew a lot of the actors there. And you know Turpin when he laughs, right? So anytime there's a joke.
You can hear him through the whole audience.
Yeah, and I was sitting right beside him, so I could definitely hear it.
Yeah.
But a lot of the actors afterwards, we went to meet them, and they're like, we knew it was you because he's such a characteristic laugh because he's worked with some of them before.
Oh yeah.
Did he go up to you every time a new person entered the stage and go, "Wait, that's so and so"?
He's done that. He's done that before. What were we watching? I think we were watching. I forget what we were watching. Is it the Queen Elizabeth Theater? And I think it was during an opera.
Oh, I just went to an opera.
Did you?
Queenie. Yeah, I saw Madame Butterfly.
Oh, cool.
It was so beautiful.
Good? Yeah.
So nice. The set was gorgeous.
Yeah. I forget which opera we went to see, but he pointed at the alligator and he says he knows that guy.
Oh.
Really? So we met the alligator guy after.
I don't know what opera has an alligator.
I don't remember which one it was. We've seen a few.
Seussical is looking really different.
Yeah, but it's fun. It's fun stuff. So you guys have an interesting future ahead of you. Yeah. It's very exciting.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Are you guys more excited or a little bit nervous or scared about?
Well, I think it's normal to be nervous.
Mm-hmm.
I know I am quite nervous. I think most of my fear comes from not being around the people I've been around for the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be very strange. I'm going to miss a lot of people. But I'm also really, really excited to pursue something I'm interested in. Because I love every class I've been in, but I didn't exactly choose to be in a lot of those classes that I've taken in high school. So it'll be so exciting to choose the classes I want to take and be fully immersed in what I'm learning for the next 4 years. Mm-hmm. So I'm really excited, but I'm feeling happy. I'm feeling sad.
You guys have done a lot of singing in your time here at Delview. Well, Lauren, less you.
Only this year.
I think, yeah, that's right. And I remember when you auditioned for Addams Family and Turpin ran to me and he said, Lauren can sing. And he was ecstatic. And I was like, no way. Finally.
My last year,
After
I decided.
So long.
I know. I kind of regret. I know I probably should have done a live at lunch or something for the 4 years before that, but I was just so nervous. But then, after hearing other people talk about how amazing their experiences for the spring plays, I just okay, I have to try out. And I've taken drama class since grade 10 and I've loved that environment. So I was it's my last year. I'm just going to go for it, even if I'm crying and so incredibly nervous, but obviously I'm really glad I did it.
So did you have voice lessons or something?
Well,
Or is it just like shower practice?
I briefly took voice lessons when I was 8 years old.
That doesn't count.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just kind of a natural. I did do some stuff when I was 8.
But yeah, I did. Oh, it's so embarrassing because there's a video out there on YouTube.
Oh.
But there's a video of me doing
look it up.
my grade 5 talent show at Gibson, and I sang "Photograph" by Ed Sheeran.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, for a 10-year-old, I sounded pretty good, but definitely you can tell that my voice has changed. And then after that, my mom secretly signed me up for this talent show that was at a farm out in Langley. That did not go well. But
The cows didn't like it?
no, mooing during my verse.
That's terrible.
But
Mooing and farting.
exactly. But that kind of put me off of singing for a bit. And then I was like, it's been how long? Almost a decade. So I'm just gonna sing one last time for my senior year.
It's not your last.
I think the first time I sang with you was when we did Leather and Lace for Live at Lunch.
Yeah.
Because that was before Addams Family auditions even were, wasn't it? Pretty sure. Or at least before we
the
started,
casting. And,
before the casting and stuff.
Yeah.
So I feel like it was after that moment that I was like, oh, Lauren can sing. She's gonna get a good part.
Let's go recruit Lauren.
And Mary, I think the first time I heard your voice was in Innovation.
Oh,
Because you wrote that song
The rap.
for that Alex refused to do.
Hey,
I'm above raps. Blah, blah, blah.
I'm not
Right?
lyrically
We'll let you tell
talented.
your story, but that's my side. But Mary composed her own song, and
Yeah.
I still have a recording of it, and I thought it was amazing. And you never wanted to perform it again.
No. Yeah.
So where did it start for you?
Like singing?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know. I've always loved music, and I started playing ukulele when I was 11 or so. And so I would kind of sing my little ukulele songs in my bedroom to myself or to my sister. That was it, sometimes to friends, but it was very just me playing around on my ukulele, And
Ukuleles are awesome.
yeah, I love
just
ukuleles.
so easy to pick up.
Yeah, they're
And
great. And that's how I got into
They're
guitar.
portable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think 2 years later I started playing guitar. So when I was 14 or so. But no, I never had lessons or performed or took classes or any of that. So I think the first time that I performed at Delview, I did Urinetown in grade 10. So I had a couple little snippets where it would be just me singing, but I was ensemble. So it was mainly a group type of thing. But I think the first time that I performed by myself was a song by Nora Jones, Don't Know Why, at Live at Lunch. And that's just a song that I really like. And it was kind of just, this seems, honestly, I was really inspired by Katie Dean. Every time she would perform at Live at Lunch, I was just she's so cool. I want to do that. When she played Iron Lung by Radiohead, I was just oh my goodness, I want to be her. So that really like motivated me to start doing live at lunches. And then I think I did a couple with her, which was fun. But no, yeah, I couldn't even tell you when it like started because it just was kind of a progressive, I love music, I want to do it myself too. But I think it really was theater that got me to sing more because it really trained my voice a lot more than it had been trained before because you have to project so much in theater and stuff.
How is it different when you're singing for a musical versus like singing pop music or something else?
I think it feels like you're almost talking with music in a musical, and it feels like you're telling a story, and you have to. It's all in your chest. There are definitely like Phantom of the Opera, that's in your head voice, but for all the roles I've played, at least, it's always been like in my chest voice, and you have to project across the room so everyone can hear you. Especially we don't have mics at Delview, so you really have to project.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's very different because with regular singing or just like live at lunches and whatever, you can use your head voice and you can do little like voice flips, and it's softer, it's more technical.
Mm-hmm.
I almost find it easier to sing in theater than I do to sing because I'm just
yeah. It's really weird because you have to be conscious for fine arts night of like the mic, and I'm like, I don't want to sing too loud because I was so used to belting so loud for like Pold and Addams Family that I was like, if I sing too loud, is it gonna like ring out and make the microphone screech? But
yeah, and in theater you can really get by doing some verses almost like you're yelling them in a way. Like it's such a different technique that you use, and it's different muscles, and you're really the point is more to I think of it as the point is to tell a story, and then when you're singing in a non-theater setting, it's to sound pretty in a way, you know,
or you let the lyrics take over a little bit more in terms of the story and the meaning. Whereas in theater you kind of have to, you're acting.
I mean
that's the difference too.
It's a lot different when you're like on a stage in front of a microphone and you're just kind of standing there singing, as opposed to when you're on stage with no microphone and you're really immersed because the song is a part of the scene. So you're acting, but you're also singing. So you're moving around a bunch, you're making gestures with your hands and singing at the same time. So it's very different than singing like a live at lunch or fine arts night.
Yeah. I find it a lot more nerve-wracking to do like a live at lunch than to do theater. For me, being in the little black box theater and doing even a ridiculous solo where I get lifted, like my one, what is it, Death is Just Around the Corner.
Well, it just feels so more
it's
natural.
like, for me, I just feel like I'm playing. I just feel like I'm having fun and just enjoying the moment, and I feel like I'm just entertaining people. Whereas when I'm doing a live at lunch, it almost feels like people are just waiting to judge. Even though I know it's not true, it just feels like they're going to listen to every single little voice crack or every single little... I just don't get that like anxiety when I'm doing theater, because I think it's because I'm a different character. I'm not me.
Yeah.
You know, when I sing at live at lunch, I'm like, this is Mary. If I do something wrong, Mary did something wrong.
Right.
If I'm in theater, say in Addams Family, if I did something wrong, Morticia did something wrong. That's not me. Who cares if I mess up, you know?
Yeah, I was trying to figure this out yesterday because I don't know how we got to talking about this, but we were having lunch yesterday and Miss Miller was there, and she always mentions the fact that she hates public speaking. She won't. She gets super nervous. So I was like joking, like maybe you should do some reading for commencement. And she was like, never.
No.
But she also mentioned that she used to do musicals when she was in high school.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, but you did musicals in high school.
Yeah.
And she said, no, it's totally different. Yeah. I never got nervous when I did musicals, but public speaking or being in front of a mic, forget it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
So Alex, now you can tell your rap story. By the way, for context, in Innovation 10, taught by me and Mr. Turpin, we do have this poetry project where students have to create raps about their day or about their lives at the moment. So, and Alex, in all the years we've done it, just refused to do this project. Okay, go, Alex.
I love how everyone else is like, how did you fall in love with singing? What was your journey? And it's
we'll get to the good parts later.
Assignment. This awful, horrible assignment that I did, and you
did end up doing it.
Yes, if you're an innovation student listening to this,
did you not rap about how you didn't want to do it?
I did.
Okay,
So, for context, I was never much of a singer or a musically gifted lad, and I was never someone interested in singing, especially composing my own lyrical course. I'm not very lyrically gifted. So the prospect of having to come up with something that natively probably needs to rhyme and then presenting it to my entire peer group, and also like in the gymnasium with a backtrack, anabolic beats, like I just... It just did not.
We were in the drama studio, not in the gymnasium.
Sorry, words are hard.
Where you were most comfortable in the school.
I mean,
I think I would have been way less nervous if I had done it I was sick, but if I'd done it in the drama studio, I think I would have been fine. But the fact that I did it in a classroom like freaked me out.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I had to do it in the classroom because I just refused to do it, and then I was told like I had to, and so I did. And I was like, how do I write a rap that like really shows where I'm at the moment? And where I was at was frustrated with this assignment. So I wrote this rap about how I just hated like the concept of coming up with songs so much, and it made me want to die. And I presented that to my class. It was my most emo year at high school.
But that's what rap's about. So you did a good job.
About hating rap?
It was very gangster.
Okay.
Yeah. Very good.
Very rebellious.
What can I say?
So Alex, you're well known in the Delview theater community for your acting.
Yes.
What got you into it? You started in grade 8, right?
I did. Well, it started a little before. When I was in grade 7, I had a choice to make. I could either stay in my music class I've been taking since kindergarten with the teacher who hated me and made me famously walk outside on bare ground without shoes on with broken glass everywhere.
What?
What are you talking about?
A real event that happened.
Explain.
Or I could go into the new drama program with one of my favorite teachers and all of my friend group. And I chose the second one. And that kind of just... I remember through elementary school, people always saying I had like a performing flair. Like I was very easy to kind of like watch do funny stuff. And so
I think they said you were very dramatic.
Yes.
Maybe you took it the wrong way.
You know.
That Alex, he's so dramatic.
But it was fun. And when I did my grade 7 show, Snow Days as Professor Snow-It-All, I just remember thinking to myself, you know what? Acting, that could be a fun thing I could keep up with. So when I went into grade 8, I had no real direction on what kind of group I wanted to hang out with and what I wanted to kind of do with my free time and what classes I wanted to take. So I was like, I'll try acting out. And I just went into the theater room and never left. The funniest part about it all, though, is that I was really against singing or doing musicals when I first entered into the theater room. I was like, I refuse to do musicals. I will only ever do plays. I'm an actor, not a singer. And then I did every show.
This was in grade 8?
This is in grade 8. And now I've done more musicals than I have done normal shows.
And your singing has gotten better.
I appreciate it.
No, I'm serious. Like Addams Family, my favorite musical I've ever seen at the school.
Wow.
In my over 20 years of being here.
Whoa.
Wow.
Seriously. That thing came together like it was beautiful.
That is high praise.
But you had a singing role, and I was like, hey, Alex, he can actually sing now.
I think Alex had the most songs too.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, you've improved.
I do.
Definitely.
I do appreciate it. There are some days where I don't feel like I've improved, but if you had have asked me to do Addams Family in grade 9 when I was barely kind of or I didn't take part in the singing of that musical. I chose a role that had no musical accompaniment. I think I would have cried. I think I would have been like, why would I do that to myself?
That's how you know you've improved so much. If that version of you in like grade 9 or 10 would have been like, no way, I'm not doing that. But then, you did it. Yeah. So you did really change a lot.
It has. It's been fun. I have a newfound appreciation for musicals and singing in general. It's fun. It's expressive.
It must be somewhat difficult to leave. I mean, first of all, to end, every time you end a show after a year of like working together, that I can't imagine that. That must be really emotional and difficult. Which is why sometimes I actually like seeing the last show. I didn't get to this time.
So you didn't see me sob then?
Yeah.
No.
When you said emotional, definitely that last night with the grade 12 speeches and everything. Yeah, it was really hard because I made a lot of really close friendships through theater company that I never had. I'm so upset that it was only in my last year because I just love all these people so much. But it was definitely really hard to say goodbye. I mean, you get so close when you're backstage. It's so dark and hot and sweaty, and you're watching Joshua drop 20 billion plates, helping them clean up all the broken glass.
He's a bit of a klutz, isn't he?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Remember Remembrance Day?
No,
We all remember Remembrance Day.
he's not allowed
In
near
Last
chairs.
Lifeboat, the play we did last year, he has a scene where he's a waiter or a servant of some kind, and he's carrying around these glasses, and me and Alex are supposed to take the glasses and continue our little conversation, and he drops the entire tray of glasses all over the floor, and I just have to look at him, and I'm like, what can I do to make this look natural? So I just scoff at him, and I'm like, ugh, servants. Because, like, what do you do in that
I'm pretty
moment?
sure I was there that night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really love the fact that after he did that, he just walked off stage with the cups and didn't give us any. So we just looked at each other for a moment and we're like,
All right.
I think, did we steal someone else's cups? Did we go over
Possibly.
to the people beside us and grab theirs?
I think you did. Yeah.
But especially emotional after, like you said, there's grade 12 speeches, and I'm not sure what that's like at the end of the play while the audience is still there, you give speeches.
Yeah.
So basically, after we bow, we just stay on stage, and then there's kind of an announcement. I think Kelly did it that, hey, audience, we're going to do a bunch of grade 12 speeches, and it's going to be really sappy and probably take a long time, so feel free to watch. You can leave if you want to, but everyone always stays because they want to see this dramatic event. And then, we all just take turns doing speeches. And I think almost all of us had improvised speeches. I think almost nobody wrote one ahead of time. But I like that. I think it's more genuine
from the heart.
Yeah.
It was a weird moment, I remember, because I tried writing something and it felt so stale and gross, and I was like, you know what?
Yeah, same.
Yeah. And when I was like, the day before, I was like, you know what? I'll go on stage, and if I'll just say whatever comes to mind, whatever I feel like I need to let out, and if all I need to say is "see ya never, suckers," then that's just how it comes out. But no, it was.
Well, thank goodness it didn't come out that way.
Yeah, I had a lot more to say than I was expecting. It was
It sucked because I had to go right after.
Yeah.
So Lauren, you're new.
Yeah.
The 1 year that you did, but both of you have been doing it for a number of years, and a lot of the time with the same people.
Yeah.
So there must be
Same husband.
Hey, merrily married to Mary.
typecast. So, and Owen's always an old man.
Yeah.
Always in a suit.
Always in a suit.
Old man.
Kelly's always a mom.
That's right.
Yeah.
So with all these people that you're saying goodbye to, it must be really tough.
It's really hard, especially leaving the grade 11s, because it's this weird feeling of next year they're going to do it again, and I won't be there to see that, and I'll only be there to be the audience.
Yeah.
And even though that's great, and I can't wait to go see their play next year and be front row and cheer them on, that's wow, it won't be the same because I'm not going to be rehearsing it with them and being a part of that with them. And honestly, I told Turpin, hey, if I have time, I can come do the makeup again for the play, because I just want to be part of it again. It's so different to be part of the cast than to just watch on the sidelines.
Yeah, there's kind of some jealousy where it's how come they get to do it still and we don't?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Addams family really came together. I don't know what it is, but and a lot of other staff have told me, this is the best I've seen.
That's great. I haven't really gotten a chance to talk to a lot of teachers other than Turpin and Mr. Choi about.
Oh,
what they thought
everybody's
of it.
raving.
That's
about
great.
it. Yeah.
Sing our praises.
Well, something about it is just, it was nice that it was light and funny, but it also had the deeper components and really beautiful songs. And then you had Gray as a grandma, which is hilarious.
Literally perfect.
And they really loved that role. I talked to them afterwards, and they're like, I love playing the grandma.
Yeah.
Had so much fun with it. But so many things came together, and I think it kind of began with casting. I know there were there's always going to be casting controversies.
Yeah.
But I think Turpin trust Turpin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He cast right.
It was funny because in the beginning, when the show got casted, there was so much drama on how it's not casted right and how it has to be different and we have to make all these changes. And it's just like, it's so disappointing because it's like, guys, you know it's going to turn out great. And you know that whatever he decides, that's what's right. And he's the professional here and we just need to accept it. But I had no clue how like perfectly casted it was until we were actually like performing. And it just made me realize like, oh my goodness, like this show was made for this cast. Like everyone just fits their role so perfectly. Alex had a mustache before we started.
Yep.
Lauren is 4'10", so she's already ready to be my daughter. We're the same like paper white shade for Morticia and Wednesday. And even just like Owen, like just being a perfect, like stupid dad figure. Like it's all so perfect.
Yeah.
And
I mean, Kira.
Kira's just such a mom.
Kira as Alice is like, I'm so glad she walked in and took that role because I genuinely.
Kira's another one who, I never heard her sing, and then she sang, and I was like,
She should have been doing it
somebody
all along.
showed me a video, I think in grade 8. I think I taught her in science 8.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that's correct. Yeah, I did. But somebody showed me a video of her on YouTube, and I was like, "You gotta sing, do live at lunch, do something." But finally got to hear her sing. But yeah,
Lauren's seen like several of her performances. She's done theater for like years and years. So
Kira's done theater.
She was in
Yes.
the Addams family in her
This
own.
is her second.
Yeah.
Addams
Yeah, she was an
family.
ancestor. She was the little girl ancestor. Yeah, it was part of like a Surrey. They did it at the like Bear Creek Park, that
wow.
performing building. And yeah, I saw them do the Addams family, and she was a ancestor. And then I saw her in SpongeBob the musical, where she was also a really interesting ensemble character. But yeah,
She just wasn't comfortable enough to come out.
yeah. I
You know what I
Till the
think it
end.
is? I think a lot of people who do theater outside of school, and I know that I felt this almost after a year of Smash. I was like, do I even keep doing theater at school? Like, is it worth it? Like, I'm in this company that has all this money and can make a much fancier
Right.
production of it. Do I continue? Like, it's almost like you get this complex that you're like, oh, I'm too good for that. But
Right.
really, like, no, like high school theater is so meaningful and so important. And I'm so glad that I never dropped out of it. But no, I was just going to say that like the one character I was really worried about in terms of Addams Family was like, who is going to play Alice? Because her song is crazy. She's like operatic pretty much. And I was just like, someone needs to step in and like take her because I don't know. I can't. Vocally, I could never.
I mean,
do
I
that.
would have.
Yeah, Alex would have, but you know, he didn't want to steal the show.
Comes the show.
I mean, when I knew Kira was gonna start theater company this year, and I knew of the role of Alice, I kind of put two together, and I knew. But it was great seeing how other people reacted to her because she's so talented, and I loved seeing the response from everybody really being aware of that. And I know she loved the role. It's such a. I remember after like every performance, someone would come up to her and be like, "You were such a perfect mom. You were such a mom." And she was like, "I know, right?" Like I loved it. I loved seeing her.
People
grow.
listen to her.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, and it's probably really precious to her too because she was in the Addams Family before, but as an ensemble, and she got to watch, you know, these main characters and see their stories up close. And now she gets to be one of them.
Yeah.
So it's like, I can imagine that being really, really special.
Yeah. Okay, so Turpin's not here.
No.
So it's time for some juicy theater stories. Any, because, okay, from the audience's point of view, everything's going smoothly.
Yes.
It doesn't matter how much you think you messed up. Everything looks, because you guys cover for each other,
Yeah.
right? Probably more than you think.
We try.
You're good at that. So are there any things happening behind the scenes or in front, right in front of us that you have stories about, or any disasters on certain nights that you've performed in any of the years you've been here?
Every time you heard something drop backstage, it was Josh.
Yeah.
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 It was
Yep.
always Josh.
I mean, for
And
me,
on stage.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
For me, it was mostly little things like Joshua wouldn't tie the tie around my eyes correctly for crazier than you. So I'd be adjusting it and I'd hear people like laughing at me, or it's like cueing things like up in the booth, there'd be a small mistake. But yeah, I don't know, but you
You
guys.
were pretty lucky. You just had little itty bitty mistakes. I got dropped.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah. So I have a moment in my solo where the ancestors pick Morticia up and I pose like a corpse and I'm supposed to get carried and they make a circle and then put me back down and then continue the song. That didn't happen. So they attempted to pick me up, but someone picked up my legs too early and my shoulders too late. And yeah, Brighton, I think he got there too late and Cookie got there too early and then Katie couldn't handle the weight by herself because she was there on time or something. And so I got dropped. And that's kind of one of those things that's like, wouldn't it be funny if I got dropped? But you're like, that's never going to happen. Like, that would be such an embarrassing mistake. That wouldn't happen. And then it happened. And I was just like, oh my gosh, what do I do to make this seem like it's part of it? How do I... Because, I mean, thank God I didn't get dropped from when I was fully lifted. That would have, like, injured me terribly. But it was just kind of halfway up. But, no, so I got dropped, and I kind of stood up, and I looked at all the ancestors, and I went... I was supposed to be lifted. Everyone back into position. And then we got into position and we continued the song. And some people thought it was part of it.
Yes.
I'm sure some people knew that was not what was meant to happen. But I tried to save it the best I could.
Probably the only people who knew were the people working on the play.
But it was a great recovery.
Yeah, it's funny now. In the moment, I hated it. But now it's really, really funny to talk about and look back on. So,
does it excite you when you have to make stuff up on the spot? Like in a way, right?
In a way, it does. Yeah, Alex loves it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was horrible.
Yeah.
Because there was only one part where I had to improv, and it was because somebody missed a cue.
Oh, yeah, me.
My mother did not come on stage. I was like, I wonder where my mom is. And that was the only thing I could think of.
Did I ever tell you about the time I went gardening in Vermont?
Yeah. Alex, it comes so natural to him. Like, I was kind of standing there waiting for him to start talking.
If Alex could improvise a whole show, he would.
I would.
Yeah.
I have taken improv classes. I just enjoy the act. There's something so special about being in a moment.
I think you like being in control.
Yes, I do. Yeah. It's also just fun. It's like you see like something break down and there's that moment of anticipation. Everyone like looks around like, oh no, we know something's about to go wrong. And then like you slide in and you're like, new scene time. Let's adapt. And then everyone kind of like starts following along with it. And they're like, yeah, that one time in Vermont, I remember that. And the scene eventually gets back on track, but it's fun.
Yeah. But I guess it's kind of like you came in and you saved the day, right? You're the hero of that moment.
It does make you feel a little accomplished.
Yeah.
I have always wanted to. Sorry, do you have something to say?
No.
Oh,
you go ahead.
But I have always wanted to do a show where like improv is written into the script, where like there are sections where you just like will bounce off each other.
It just says do whatever you want here.
Yeah. Well, one show that's like that is the abridged works of Shakespeare, which is a kind of like a show where they do the major works of Shakespeare.
That's on right now.
Yes.
Well, it's going to be Bard on the Beach, or maybe it's on right now.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing Much Ado About Nothing tomorrow.
Fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, continue.
Oh, okay.
Had to brag for a second.
Oh yeah, just humble flex. But it's shows like that, I think, really captivate me and make me interested because you just kind of like get to like make jokes up on the fly or like bounce off the energy of that day. I think as an actor or anyone who's been here, some days the vibe of a show is just different from the next, and they kind of you adjust yourself. You adjust the way you perform your character that day, the way you react to other characters, kind of lines. And I think a show that's all like kind of like implemented with improv would kind of produce some really wild effects.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Has there ever been anything like how much does the audience affect you while you were acting?
Oh yeah,
like a lot. Well, Turpin said, because some nights we'd be like, "Oh, that was such a bad audience." Turpin was like, "No, don't say that. They just responded differently," which I had to keep in mind a lot for all the other shows. Because I mean, you want to if a crowd, like the night after, like one that was super rowdy is being a little more reserved, you kind of want to go into a more reserved space yourself. But then you have to remember, this audience deserves the same amount of performance as the other one. Yeah. So even if I'm not getting like whooping and hollering for this one scene like I did the other night, I mean, I still have to put the same effort as I did into that night for this audience.
It does make joke lines hard, though.
Yeah.
When you like drop a joke and it just goes, heh.
Crickets.
Because you almost wait for a second to see, are they going to laugh? And then no one laughs, and you're just like, well.
Hold for laughter.
We oftentimes in like shows, we have moments where we drop a joke and we're told we're supposed to wait a few seconds because people need to calm down from laughing. And so when you do that joke line, and I guess we keep going. I remember one night at the Addams family, we had like a lot of older folks show up to our show, and the Addams family.
Yeah, it was all the grandparents and the children.
Yeah. And the Addams family has some salacious jokes. And one night, one of the jokes I do is I say, not today, she spat it in my face. Not today, not even second base. And I like mime groping. But
Okay.
But the issue was that night, normally that line gets a good hearty chuckle, and I just heard a room change the air with disgust as a bunch of older folks went, oh. Like that was the audible sound that radiated at that moment was, oh.
I bet they laughed about it after.
Probably.
Yeah.
You never know.
Maybe.
Wise man Turpin once told me, and maybe somebody else gave him this advice, that you have to act as if there's somebody in the audience who's seeing, theater for the first time, right? Because it could inspire them. And if you're not there for them, then it might turn them off.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, it's tricky not to be affected by it, though. I definitely, even the littlest things give me such motivation. Like even just seeing like a kid smile at you when you have a certain little moment in a song, that means everything. That it's like you're waiting for all these little moments to energize you and like give you this juice to like continue and put in even more energy. And yeah, you have to do it no matter what, no matter how enthusiastic the audience is. But like it really helps when people even just smile at you. Even just those little things are so important.
Has there ever been an audience where something really distracting happens that kind of threw you off?
Yes, in the last Lifeboat. Oh, you're going to go with that.
Oh, do you have another?
In the last Lifeboat, someone had a medical emergency mid-performance.
Yes.
Seriously.
And not only was it during the play, it was during the scene in which Alex was supposed to attempt to kill himself.
Yep. So imagine this. I'm getting up. This is the moment of tension. I am pulling a gun that my father gave me, and I am about to stick it in my mouth and blow my brains out before my wife comes and stops me, because I'm just going through the most emotionally devastating time my character's ever been through. And right as I get up to the front of the audience, like I'm like only a foot away from the first row, all of a sudden someone falls over. They collapse. People go, oh my God. And I'm like, do I keep going? Do I wait a moment? So like I slow down a bit, but I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? And I'm not making eye contact with the audience because I don't want to break the illusion.
You kind of I remember you looking just shell-shocked, and I think it really, honestly, in a way, it was good that it was that scene because you were shell-shocked by what was happening, but you're supposed to look shell-shocked because you're considering, killing yourself. And I come in and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, don't do this. Like, but then I kind of look over and I'm just like, oh, what do we do now?
Yeah.
Do we stop or do we continue? And I was like, well, looks like people are helping them. Okay,
the show must go on.
The show must go on. And then we just continued the scene. But I felt almost like guilty that I didn't stop. But in a way, I was like, what would we even do if we stopped? Would that even help anything?
Right.
Yeah.
And they were okay?
They got taken out on a medical stretcher, but I hear they recovered.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like an ambulance showed up.
Was it not heat exhaustion? Or?
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Heat exhaustion.
Dehydration, heat exhaustion. Those black box theaters, man, they get a little warm in there. 80 people stuffed into one room.
So they called like paramedics or something?
Yeah. And I remember it was really bad because the actual ambulance wouldn't show up for like an hour.
No way.
Yeah.
So they were just stuck on a bench outside the drama studio. Like there were some people trying to bring them water, but they were like,
Okay, but whoever was still conscious. Maybe they took that into consideration because they kind of prioritized, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, okay, so that's a big one. What you're going to say, children?
Yeah, I was going to say children because I mean there were a few like the audience for it was like the mainly older people and younger children. I mean, some children they're really young and they're not accustomed to performing spaces. So I'd be in the middle of a scene and I'd hear like, "Oh my gosh, look at her dress" or something. Like I know a lot of Kira's younger cousins came and I hear like, "Oh my god, it's Kira," and they'd be right behind me and it'd be like really silent and I was like, "Okay, I have to just keep going."
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, one of the worst things that someone can do as an actor, if you're like the family of an actor, never call out to them when you're in the audience. I remember, did you guys come to see the Addams Family production at North Delta?
Yes.
Yeah.
So then you remember there was this one guy who I guess his cousin or something was in the show, and it was like one of the main characters. I was the Morticia of their show, and he just would like every time she did anything, go, "Woo! Name of that person! Oh my god!" And like that's the worst because it not only breaks etiquette. You're in the middle of this song, and all of a sudden you hear like this is the person sitting beside you screaming about an actor on stage. But also as an actor, it's the worst when you're like singing this emotional plight. You're trying to get into character, and then someone screams your name, and you just get pulled out of it. It
also just
so
like
terrible.
breaks the
character,
the fiction of the story.
You're like, I only know this person as Morticia. Who's this other name that they're calling them?
Yeah.
I just could, like, I remember I was sitting right beside him and I like slumped into my seat a bit. I was like, no, this is so, like, I'm getting secondhand embarrassment and frustration. I died a little inside that day.
It can be really distracting, right? Because they're, especially in our theater. Well, it's not really a theater; it's a box, but everybody's like right in front of you.
Yeah.
That must train you for something in the future.
That
they're that close to you.
It has trained me to never make eye contact with an audience of people. Like I just will, whenever I step on stage,
You stare between people?
No, I just look up above them.
Yeah, I look right above the heads.
I never looked at anybody in the audience. I did not know who was in the audience until after, and we came out after bows because I was just like, I can't. If I see someone I know, it's gonna break the scene for me.
You're gonna be thinking about that.
Yeah,
the whole
like
time.
the world I'm in. So I have to stay in that world and just kind of let my eyes hover above their head and kind of like skirt past them.
I mean, I think it also makes sense with like when you consider even like the concept of a fourth wall. So the character, that's a wall they're singing to, not the audience. So there is no audience. You shouldn't act like you're looking or acknowledging the audience. But it has meant that there have been times like I'd come off stage after a show's done and be like, "Oh my God, did you see us waving at you?" No.
Not at all.
I was like,
but we were 4 feet away from you. Doesn't matter.
Nope.
Is it difficult to see people? I mean, you try not to, but
it's not too hard. I mean, some of the lighting, if we have like a dark blue lighting, it's harder to see the people in the back. But for the most part, if you want to see people, you can see people. It's more that you're almost like, you almost need to make this bubble for yourself. Okay. So you stay in character and you don't want to look at someone because that's going to break the bubble. And, you know, it
and even beyond
confuses you.
Even beyond staying in character too, though, it's also like, it's very noticeable when you're like looking through a room and your eyes aren't like focused on anything. But the second you look at a person, like your eyes move to that person. So if
maybe for everyone else in the audience it's fine, but for that one person, they're just going to be like, why are they looking right at me?
And even as like another audience member, they notice like they're looking at individual people now. It makes it weird. That was actually one of the harder parts about Addams Family was at certain points in time, we were supposed to acknowledge the audience. Yeah. And after spending 4 years avoiding eye contact with them, I remember having to like will myself to look at the person beside me.
And then they don't give you the reaction you want and you're just broken.
Yeah. There was one time like I did like in my opening song, I had to like walk over to some people on the side because our theater was in a thrust. So there was audience on the right and left side of our actual stage. And I remember I looked down at someone and I was like, "You need to have a little poison in your day." And I winked at them. I was trying to be like Gomez, he's charismatic. And the reaction I got was, in disgust. And I went, "Okay." And I looked away. And
no.
Maybe it's just like, they're not used to that. They're like, why is he making eye contact?
I think people are intimidated by it because I think they're almost like, it's almost like they're not watching humans. Like it's like they're watching a show almost. And it's like, why are they interacting with me? Why are they looking at me? And then they feel like,
Are they going to pull me up?
I don't want this attention. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's hard. I have one like joke in my song where I say, what's the joke?
Death is right around the corner.
Get it? Coroner. And I have to like look at people. And every time I pick someone to look at, just the driest, like literally not a single ounce of emotion in their face. I think one time I looked at Miss Gowenberg and she just looked like she was so done with me. And I was like, I'm sorry, I had to pick someone to look at. And I know that there were people in the audience who would have been a good person to pick, but I just always picked someone who, just nothing.
I think it's like almost like the, what do you call it when you go to like a sports game and they put you on the Megatron, right? It's almost that effect.
The big screen?
Yeah, it's that effect of like when you're like watching something intently, you're not thinking about like your facial expression. So when all of a sudden the camera pans to you, there's like those few seconds where you're like,
what? Yeah.
Oh.
It's like, you guys are the trained actors. Like, I'm not supposed to be in the spotlight. Why is it on me right now?
Yeah.
My favorite moments though, I didn't get to perform this, but Grandma and in Lurch, performed by Gray and Bjorn. There's a scene where they pass a blunt to one of the audience members, and like they pretend they're smoking it, and that always got so many laughs. And seeing the different people they'd choose was hilarious. One time they chose my brother. Amazing.
Yeah. Bjorn was so great as Lurch. It just like that role was made for him. And I am jealous because he actually was one person that got to improvise a lot. His whole quote unquote monologue where he's just grunting. Yeah. That is just completely his own story that he just created. And I'm kind of jealous that he got that.
Do you know
freedom.
if he has a story?
We do have a story.
Was it written or did he?
I don't know if he wrote it down, but he had quite an intricate story laid out, and he explained it to us. And
some nights he would add a little something. Like the last night, he did a cartwheel.
He did a cartwheel.
Oh,
we don't know why.
Should we recite the story?
I don't know if we can.
Are we allowed to? Is this like government information?
I don't know. Is it?
It's
our place
over
to
now,
tell?
right?
I mean, if you want to tell the story, Alex,
you remember.
If you're an Addams Family fanatic, then this is the behind the scenes where
we're
you
going
get to
deep.
figure it out. Yeah, watch Mr. Kung's podcast. Listen.
Yeah, I have no cameras in here. Sorry.
The story, as I can recall it, was Bjorn's Lurch. He was a baby in Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
And he got kicked as a child by his Nazi father so hard, in fact, that he got like kind of like rattled, and his mom kind of goes over to him and like shakes him violently to make sure, he's like got all his screws still in. And it's probably fine. And then he goes and he like joins the military, but as a Nazi, as you would. But then he finds out he's gay, and as he's pursuing a gay relationship, his father finds out, and he's so upset. He's Lurch. So they send him away to a butlery school so he can learn to buttle, and then eventually he gets sent to work with the Addams, and
as like a punishment, like, we're going to send you to this psychotic family.
But you know what? He's been with us ever since 4 generations of Addams.
And there's a lot more detail. You'd have to ask him. You might have to.
That's a lot more complicated than I thought it was, but it makes total sense now.
The scene was so long, and like he was able to pull so much laugh, so much humor out of it.
But knowing that, and then seeing like his, because then Bjorn was like, well, Lurch has to be attracted to Mal now. So when Mal would come in, like Owen's character, he'd be like,
and of course no one would think about that. They're just thinking, he's just grunting, but in our minds we're like,
it was
oh
so
my gosh,
funny for us.
Yeah.
He's so humorous.
That's so funny. Are there things that go on while you are acting that the audience does not know about, besides the little mistakes that you cover up? But especially on the last night, I hear there's some antics sometimes.
I mean, there's stuff backstage where we're preparing to move stuff, and sometimes it can get a little chaotic back there. And if you hear a bump, it's probably that. And we're like, they're moving the torture wall right now to prepare it for the next scene. But there's a lot of stuff that I don't think people really think about with how much there is backstage. Because, I mean, when you're backstage, maybe people think you can just like relax, but no, you're running around getting props. You're preparing
Lots
at
of
different
things are
entrances.
lost.
Yeah, lots of things are lost because it's dark back there, but you're trying to figure out for the next scene. So it's you're kind of just on the move constantly. I don't think a lot of
You
people.
don't have any lights at all back there?
We have
Well-
some like faint blue light.
Yeah, but they're
Okay.
really dim, and you also have to be conscious of like I had to go and do a quick change for a scene, and so I had to go back to the changing room, and I had to be conscious of if I open the door and the lights on, is the audience going to be able to see it? So sometimes I'd have to like change in complete darkness, and I'd be like bumping into walls and stuff. But yeah, it's quite.
Yeah, I think I got
chaotic.
quite a few leg bruises.
Oh, there
just
was
from
one part. Oh, I don't know what day it was. I think it was the night before closing. And after Crazier Than You, I have to run out out of stage, and I have to run back into the curtain. And what I didn't know was that they decided to move the wooden bed right
God.
outside the curtain. So I run directly into the bed.
Goodbye,
and
shins.
yeah, my
Shins?
knee, it hit right at the post. And I told Turpin, I said, I hit the metal bed. And he was like, it wasn't metal, it was wood. Well, it felt like it was metal. And I had this huge bruise, and I was kind of limping around for the rest of the show. But yeah, I had a few injuries too. I remember once I had to grab Joshua Lucas's hand to run away, and I have acrylic fingernails, and my thumbnail like hit his arm because he put his arm out right as I was grabbing it, and my acrylic nail bent backwards. So for the rest of the show, I was kind of just like standing there while my thumb was like throbbing in pain, but I was like, this show must go on.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Wednesday
Yeah.
would embrace the pain.
She embraced it, and she used it for her anger towards Lucas.
Yeah.
That's perfect then. That was my son's bed, by the way. I don't know if Turpin told
Really?
you.
Really?
Yeah, because
Can we burn it?
do whatever you want. It's not mine anymore. No, but he slept in it when he was a toddler, and then when Turpin had a baby, we gave it to him, and then it was funny because
oh my gosh.
as soon as it came out, my wife was like, "Is that our bed?"
That's so funny.
I mean,
No way.
for high school theater, you have to use any resources you
Right.
can.
Any and all.
But after not seeing it for so long and then seeing it on stage,
Yeah,
it was really weird
I'm trying
for
to
us.
think if there were any other props that like have funny histories.
Oh, the rabbit.
The rabbit.
The rabbit.
The rabbit?
From Urinetown.
Oh, we didn't use that for Addams
That was for
Family.
Last Lifeboat. Is what
Oh,
we
the
used
Last
it for.
Lifeboat.
But I
Yeah,
think
sorry.
we didn't end up using it.
No, the words are hard. Sorry, I misunderstood the context.
Was that for like don't
I
be a
thought we were
bunny?
talking about just like props in general. Not
Oh,
props.
okay. I don't know. What other props did we have?
A lot of our props were rented.
Yeah,
so we
a
had
lot
to
of
be
them
really
are rented.
conscious of taking care of
Can't
it.
break it.
One of the props that were, for everybody I know, was very frustrating was the torture wall.
Yeah.
Because we have these chains, right?
Mhm.
And I guess the chains it did not come with chains, so Turpin had to get his own. And because of that, they weren't fit for the torture wall. So if one person let go on one side, the chains would just slip out, and it would take like a good 5 to 10 minutes to put them back in to like maneuver it somehow. So that was something that caused a lot of grief to the cast and crew of the Addams Family.
And that effect of pulling the lever, that must have been practiced a lot.
Oh
'cause
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's hard
Sometimes
to get that
It
timing
was a
right.
scary process for Neffy because that's
Yeah.
it's a scary thing to be on. It's not stable at all. I tried sitting on it, and
No,
you really have to almost use your core muscles to stay on it properly.
Really?
and the
Yeah.
way the weight is distributed, we had to have somebody sit on the back of the torture wall because it could have tipped forward.
Topples over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
Wow.
pretty sure Grandma would sit
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the back.
Gray
Oh,
was
wow.
sitting on the back on an ottoman, and then there was people pulling in the back too. But it was and what Neffy was sitting on was like basically like a wooden bicycle seat, so
Yeah.
extremely uncomfortable and kind of at like an awkward height too above the ground. So it's like if I fall, I can hit the ground, but like it might also go bad. Like it was really weird. But we did rehearse it quite a lot.
Yeah.
There were instances when I was singing "Pulled" for that scene, and I would like split second forget to pull the lever, so I would kind of do it a little late, which was absolutely my fault. But I don't think it really was that noticeable.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely, that was a scene that we had to rehearse quite a lot of times. I mean, it's not even like a huge scene. I mean, most of it is just the song, and you think it's just me doing the work, but no, it's like so many people doing so much for that one scene.
Yeah, the ancestors were so essential in that musical. I don't think people realize how much we needed them for moving all the props or just, you know, being there to make things function. And and even just to put the story together more, it really helps to have, they just set the stage so much.
And some of the best group songs were the ancestors. Like let's gather round and protect them. It's aid them in their cause.
One Normal Night.
Yeah, that harmony that they do was amazing.
One Normal Night was probably my favorite song.
Yeah.
It's just because everybody pretty much gets a part in that, and it's just so, and it's really where everything starts to come together, because you meet the Beinecke's, and they come in, and you start to see where the relationship with Wednesday and Lucas come into play. So that was really like a song that each night I was really looking forward to. Also not because it was a really hard song for me to sing, but it was really great to see everybody's reactions to it, because it's like, wow, this is like really, like, this is a great musical that this school is putting on for the audience to witness.
Yeah. I loved Moon and Me.
That's probably that's my favorite.
It's so sweet. And I love when Katie was playing the ukulele for it, and it's just so soothing and like romantic, and it's just a bald guy singing about a moon. But somehow that's what gets your heart out of everything.
Katie was the perfect Fester.
Oh, she killed it.
Katie, she whips out a ukulele. She whips out a violin. It's like, okay, Katie, what other instruments have you
I know.
Wrong Katie.
Wrong Katie. There's two Katies.
Well, Katie was singing, but
and the other Katie was
KD.
Yes.
Had the ukulele and the violin at one
the
point,
violin was gorgeous. That was something that I think she offered. She was just like,
I think so. But it was great to see the reaction from everybody. Like, oh my God, there's a live instrument playing right now.
Yeah.
Like it was
because you don't get
because
that
you can.
Band, eat your heart out.
Yeah, it was really great. That was definitely a song that a lot of people, I think, if they knew the show, they were looking forward to, and if they didn't, it was a nice surprise to see.
I know you guys are retiring from here now, but and moving on, but I think there's quite a few people that I can see stepping up. Into position. I mean, I saw my first ever fine arts night actually was your fine arts night, your last one, and just watching Hamlet and Gray is just
something
amazing.
Like an enigma.
No one else could have played Hamlet like that.
No.
Certainly.
I was I was floored. That was pretty amazing.
Can I complain for a moment?
Okay.
I've been trying to get Mr. Turpin to go see one of Gray's out of school shows for like months, and every time it'd be like, oh yes, you have to come see it, and he wouldn't actually like show up.
I'll go.
Yeah.
Invite me.
You should.
It was so good.
Oh my gosh, last year I saw, did you see it too?
Sisters.
Oh
my gosh,
amazing. Like, it was that moment that I saw this little play they did about residential schools and being a nun during that time. Like, it was such a heavy play, but I had no idea. Like, to me, Gray was just like Sarah's little sibling. Yeah. And to see that was like, oh my gosh, they have all of this in them.
Right?
And they're just this quiet little person. Yeah. And they're so sweet and kind and, you know, and warm, but like, you just don't expect that amount of passion to come out of them. And then it's just there, and it's crazy.
Gray has such an expressive ability to like pull you into one of their scenes. Yeah. And I remember once I saw Sisters, I was like, oh my God, like Turpin needs to see this. Everyone needs to see this. Gray needs to like get like more important or like involved roles.
Yeah. That's why when Hamlet happened, and he announced like the characters, and he said, Gray will be playing Hamlet, I was like, finally.
Yes.
Finally, they are getting a character that they need to just like show everyone, look, this is what I can do.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that because and then I asked, because watching that, I was like, Gray they must be working outside of the Delview Theater because there's some development going on here.
Yeah.
So I asked Turpin, like, do they like do stuff outside here? And he said, yeah, definitely.
So, Gray teaches is a helps teach improv camps.
Yes.
To like youth
No way.
and
To
stuff.
youth people.
Yeah.
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 And it is
Wow.
They're
like
really
paid
good
for
with
it.
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense though. But I remember Gray would be like, I would like at lunchtime, I'd hear them like muttering under their breath. I'm like, oh, is that? Or like, oh, I'm just going over my Hamlet lines. Like they really put so much of themselves and of their time into Hamlet. And you think like it was just like a high school role. We're only doing the show for one night, but no, it's like that.
They
was,
knew their lines before
Yeah.
anyone did, and they had the
Anyone.
biggest role.
I think memorized within the first month, 3
Not even
weeks?
2 weeks. I
Yeah.
think.
Oh my gosh, crazy.
And their one monologue, To Be or Not to Be, we did a shortened version of the Shakespeare play, but they decided, no, I'm going to do the full monologue because I may as well. It's what I want to do.
And I know that monologue, so
Yeah.
I know they did the full monologue because I was kind of thinking through the words as they were saying it. And I was
Yeah.
like, wow, that's the
the
whole
full
thing. That's
thing.
the full deal.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Definitely, I think the cream will always rise to the top. I think next year we'll see a lot more.
Yeah, that's exciting to see a lot of, like you guys are leaving and that's very sad, but to see who's coming up
Yeah.
and who knows, there might be more Laurens out there.
I mean, my sister.
Yeah.
Yes.
My sister, not to put her in the spotlight, but she can sing as well.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
very profoundly. And I told her, like, I know the upcoming year is not a musical, but
Mhm.
it'll prepare you for the musical, which
Yeah.
I
Right.
know
Give you the acting
she wants to do. So I think you might see Leah Vouri in the next spring play.
I think there's probably others out there that, and it's great that we have all these talent opportunities like Live at Lunch,
Yeah.
Fine Arts Night, to actually see people say yes to something and go out there and surprise you and then
Yeah.
continue and then maybe help other people want to step up and show their talent.
Yeah. I really hope the Addams family encouraged a lot of people to think, oh, maybe I should do this next year, because I think with like shows like You're in Town, even though I loved You're in Town, but it was so obscure and strange that a lot of people wouldn't even come see it, you know?
Yeah.
You don't want to see the show about pee?
Yeah, so they're just like, I'm not even gonna bother. But I think with Addams Family, because it's something that people can be like, hey, I know that character. It's almost like nostalgic, or they can recognize it and I don't know, and enjoy it. Then I think a lot of people will hopefully decide to join next year.
And that's why Mr. Turpin should 100% do Mamma Mia, the most recognizable musical ever. He
Yes.
should totally do
Yeah,
it.
he will totally love that.
Yeah, I mean, famous lover of Mamma Mia.
With a pit of snakes on the theater floor. That's what he would love.
Yeah.
Anyone who sees or anyone who listens to this podcast, please go up to Mr. Turpin and ask him why he loves Mamma Mia. Just, you need to do this, okay? Yes, thank you.
He'll appreciate it.
Oh, definitely.
Any other words of advice? Parting words of advice for people?
One thing I did to prepare was do things like Live at Lunch and Fine Arts Night, because when you're in the role of like I was the role of Wednesday, it was such a profound role where I had to be so into the character and such a significant like person as Wednesday. I had to kind of build myself up to being that person and getting used to performing. So, I'd really recommend doing things, outside of school or in school, any chance you can get where you're even just like public speaking. Like if a teacher is asking questions, maybe be the first to put your hand up. So you can get more used to just being in that spotlight for that 1 second, because it can be really nerve-wracking, but once it adds up for you, it gets a lot easier for when you're actually on stage and performing as your character.
Mm-hmm. I remember I used to be a nervous wreck anytime questions from the teacher were asked, and I think it took a couple of people just saying, why don't you just tell them what you think? Or like pointing at me and saying, hey, what do you think? And then once you feel that, it's just like, I guess when you act for the first time, if you just say yes to it and then you find out that, oh, this is actually doable, I think that just snowballs and it becomes something bigger and you can do more things, right? You've powered up.
Yeah.
Do you have any more advice?
I would say if you can, do it with a friend. Like go in with someone that that you can go on that journey with, because that helps so much. And then you get to really grow with someone and watch them grow. And that was just so like, I can't get over how beautiful it was doing it with Lauren and getting to like watch her like grow into this like star. It was just like, I felt so privileged.
And not just in theater, but the two of you doing duets together
and that I don't think that would have happened without theater. So I think that like there are certain like friendships that you just cannot acquire without theater. Like you just get like a bond that you won't get out of other things. And I think honestly, if people want like strong friendships, and it doesn't have to be just about performing, join theater, because you're going to make like friends that you will have never made outside of that. And they're going to be so valuable, and do it early. Because I wish I had, I did it right away when I came to this school, but I only came in grade 10. And I just know that if you start in grade 8 like that, that's just going to flourish into like the most meaningful friendship ever. And I think also like really try to get to know the cast. Like don't just be there and just do the show. Like become family with the cast, because then that's what took the nerves away from me. Because for me, I was just like, well, I'm just doing this with my family. It's just like I'm just playing around with my friends, and it's fun and it's enjoyable. There's no nerves because I'm with people that I'm comfortable with, who support me, and I love them, and
trust them.
And I trust them.
Unless they drop you.
Yeah. But the fact that I was even able to do that lift was because I, trusted these people even though they dropped me.
I mean, we're seeing everybody at their best and their worst, right?
Yeah.
Each voice crack, each frustrated tear. I mean, they're there for it.
Yeah. And honestly, that's the best thing, going through like the rough stuff with people, like going through the, anxiety attacks because of the torture machine, or people making mistakes or freaking out about deadlines like that. All of that means so much, and it makes you really grow close with people, because, going through hard things with friends is what really, I don't know, like makes the bond. But yeah,
fair enough.
Grow a mustache.
Grow a mustache. If you're a man and you can grow a mustache in theater, you've just succeeded. Congratulations. You got a role in everything. I didn't even want a mustache, but I can't get rid of it or else I stop getting work.
Yeah.
But no, in all honesty, I think we hear a lot about like, just say yes, just do it. And I think that's good advice somewhat. But I think sometimes one aspect a lot of people struggle with is they put a lot of barriers between themselves and what they're capable of doing, what they're willing to do. Like, it can be small things. Like, I don't want to try this food because it has a weird name, or it's not something I've ever like kind of considered trying before. And I think acting and a lot of facets of life are like that, where if you allow yourself to like put these kind of artificial obstructions in your way, you're not going to be able to do a lot of the fun things or participate in a lot of the cool opportunities that just saying, you know what, sure, would get you. Yeah.
Somebody told me something interesting about you, Alex. And there's a lot of interesting things about you. But they said that you kind of went out of your way in the last couple years maybe to greet people in the hallway that are random strangers. And I can't remember who told me that. It was I think it was maybe Addie or Sarah, but somebody told me that, and I thought that's so interesting.
So when I was in grade, it might be weird to anyone who knows me, but when I was in grade, like elementary school, I was very reserved. I was very like quiet. I didn't have a strong like social standing or social group. Partly my own fault. But when I went to high school, I was like, I want to reinvent myself, but I don't know how to do that. So being someone who wasn't very open or comfortable being social, I was like, this is a skill I need to train up. So how do I do that? I just got to do it. So I would make a note of myself. I'd force myself anytime I made eye contact and I walked by someone, hey, how's it going? And then anytime I let that evolve. And then once they would respond to me, I go, oh, that's great. And maybe I might start up a tiny banter. And then I'd evolve that to, if I noticed something on someone else that I liked, maybe it was a cool outfit piece or a cool accessory, or they just did something that I enjoyed. I was like, wow, that was really cool. You did an awesome job with that. Or that looks like really amazing. It goes well with your outfit.
And you do this actually, if I can interrupt. I don't think I don't think any guy has ever complimented me more than Alex. He's really good at giving compliments and noticing little things too. Almost like every week, is that a new necklace? Are those some new earrings? And like, they won't be new at all, but it's just like that little, like, that, you know, like, oh, is that a new ring? Or, oh, did you get a haircut? Like, just those little things. Those mean so much.
And it helps other people enjoy it. They think it's like, oh, you know, that's nice that this person's taking time to notice, but it helps you feel more comfortable handling social situations. I would recommend.
It's funny because when you popped into my, I think, engineering class one day, and said hi to a few people there, I was like, "Do you guys know Alex?" And they're like, they all said yes. I mean, these are people who've never seen you in the theater. They wouldn't go to a play, but they just know you from the hallway, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And like, I think, especially in today's world where we all somewhat struggle with like that's kind of like fear of socially putting ourselves out there. It really is important to kind of like, even if it's awkward, even if it feels like the most embarrassing things, eventually it just becomes kind of natural.
Well, thank you guys for being here today.
Yeah, of course.
I'm going to miss all three of you and I have been entertained by all of you and it's been a joy to work with you through the years, starting with innovation for most of you. And it's been terrific. And we will definitely miss your talents, but knowing that you're going on to bigger, better things, please do keep in touch and let us know when you have your performances and things like that so we can go.
We'll come to all the fine arts nights and plays to update you guys.
For sure.
Of course.
That'd be terrific. Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you a lot. See you around.